setting over the busy metropolis of Houston, Texas. And that's where we're coming to you from tonight. Rockets here at home in this Western Conference matchup live here in Houston. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, our sideline reporter, the Hall of Famer David Aldridge. We've got a special treat for you folks tonight. Sports writing heavyweight Bill Simmons is in the house. Bill, welcome to 2K Sports.
What an honor. I've been waiting for the invite for years.
And let's go straight over to David Aldridge for a report.
Hey, Kevin. Well, it is official. AI was...
David, thank you. From G League player to all-star in short time.
And how lucky is this team to have a player like AI on it?
And the Rockets last season, first team to ever shoot more threes, Bill, than twos.
Yeah, is that a good thing?
It's more interesting to watch. Percentages are a little skewed.
Is it more interesting to watch if you're 7 years old or if you love basketball like us? I don't know.
It's
I
fun
still
to
love
call.
the back cut.
Yeah, I agree.
But this is the society we're in now, right? Like people love home runs. They love three-pointers.
Big shots.
I will never in my life get used to watching guys on a 3-and-2 fast break go to the corners versus go to the basket.
And that's what Houston does.
And that's what Houston does. And mathematically, it's the right move. But I still kind of like layups sometimes.
You're a traditionalist.
I like to straddle traditionalism versus the new math. I get the new math. I don't understand shooting 45 threes in a game. Just, what is that? It's just a new form of basketball.
It is, yeah. So here's Oklahoma City's starting group. The forwards, George and Grant. Dennis Schroeder is out there with the natural, and it's Adams in at center. And the natural's going to pick up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Ball against Schroeder. 8 feet away. Capella trying to free himself up. And it's Paul getting it to go.
And we know Paul's not the biggest guy in the league, far from it, but that does not stop him from finding ways to score inside.
Here's Schroeder. James Harden with the rebound. And so it's Harden bringing it up for the Houston Rockets. Pass to Tucker. Fires for three. It's good. The assist that time from Harden. Tucker's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Schroeder against Harden. And that one's good. Schroeder.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Oh, it's a thing of beauty watching him attack the defense like that. I mean, they wanted no part of him on that layup.
Capella, high post. Houston moving it around. Paul kicks it to Tucker. And another three for Houston.
And this is how you want to start the ball game. 4 for 4 from the field. Seems like they're right on point and can't miss.
Bill, we know in your writing that you love to incorporate pop culture references. How did that begin with you?
Well, it began because in college, I was dropping them in columns and people were responding. I think pop culture probably mattered more when I was in college in the 80s and 90s because, you know, we didn't have the internet back then. It was harder to connect with people you didn't know. Basically, you had sports and pop culture and politics. Those were the three ways. If I'm getting to know you, what are the three things we're going to talk about? I didn't want to talk about politics with anybody, so the other two things for me were sports, pop culture. I was also an only child in the 70s with only 5 or 6 TV channels, watching Brady Bunch, Partridge Family, Sanford and Son, Jefferson's, Good Times, all that stuff. And, you know, that stuff just soaks into your DNA, and that's it.
Outside, George. Just 5 to shoot. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. Things get clearer and clearer as we move through this season. And as we move into February, here's a look now at the top rookies around the NBA. So many great young stars. And you look at the natural. What a start to his NBA career he's in. Wow. You know, you knew he could be special. He's showing everyone why as he sits third in the rankings.
And it's a testament to his ability and toughness that he's got himself into that #3 spot in the Rookie of the Year ranking.
Yeah, Greg, and he's had very little trouble getting accustomed to the bigger bodies and more physical play of the NBA, and that's impressive.
And as the offseason approaches, AI will be receiving a lot of suitors for his services. No doubt he'll be one of the hottest names in free agency.
And you know, Greg, you can't help but be happy for AI. Think back to where he started from, playing his way into the league. Just a fantastic story for him. George passes to the natural. And the rejection by Harden. And it's out of bounds. They say last touch by Adams. All right, we've got a bit of a break now, so here's a look at the league's best defenses. Number one, the Thunder.
Great defenders both individually and collectively. I mean, you can tell they really love accepting that challenge. They can stifle you at that end of the floor.
Even before Dwight Howard, Bill, left the Rockets, Clint Capella became the clear heir apparent, it seemed, at that center position for Houston.
Great pick. I think they took him 25th in that draft. That's about as well as you can do. That's my hope for the Celtics with Rob Williams. They took him 27th, and you just hope he's this guy above the rim, shot blocker, athlete, and kind of teach him to do everything else.
Here's Harden. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So one free throw coming up.
Well, I like the understated focus that Harden brings to the table. Despite getting knocked around, his concentration allows him to play through the bumps.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Good on the bucket. Here is Harden. He picked up 15 points in their last win against Sacramento. Pulls up. It's hauled in by George.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
Here's Adams, and Adams with the slam.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
Rockets leading by 3. Paul looking around. Shoots over Schroeder. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Want to keep rolling here following the win against Memphis.
Yeah, and in that game, we saw a lot of sloppy play from the opposing offense. They coughed the ball up. A lot of unforced turnovers.
And that did make things relatively easy for him. You know, it's nice to get a win and not have to work too hard for it.
Down to 5 on the shot clock.
And he can time his passes so perfectly. Wow, what an assist.
Oklahoma City shooting their first free throw of the night. That one drops. He ties it up. The Rockets have gone just a shade under 50% from the field. 5 of 11. Paul kicks it to Tucker. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got 3 assists in the game. Thunder trailing by 3. Bill, with last year's do-or-die season finale between Minnesota and Denver, final game of the regular season, momentum is gathering for a play-in tournament, maybe for the last 2 playoff spots. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I wrote about this in 07. I called it the entertaining as hell tournament, where basically the first 7 seeds were guaranteed, and the 16 teams that didn't make it out of the 2 conferences, they just went head-to-head, single elimination. And then you have the final 2 games in New York City, and you blow it out, and you have a fun thing with it. I think that Minnesota-Denver game was important, and maybe the solution is you have the 6 seeds guaranteed in each conference, and then you have 7, 8, 9, 10 in each conference, and you just have playing games. You have 7 versus 10. You have 8 versus 9. You do it over the course of a couple days. You use the TV revenue from that because you could get good money from that to maybe shorten the season,
Great
which
idea.
would be, for me, the #1 thing I would change about the league. I think we should have a 70-game season. You could talk me into 76, but there's too many games. There's too many nights where the players, I just think basketball is really hard to play.
Green dishes to Paul. Shoots over Schroeder. Paul can't get it to go.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backcourt.
And a trend they'd love to continue right through the next 3 quarters as well, Greg.
And too much time in the lane. They get called for the 3-second violation.
And a chance to check out the numbers for the Nationals. averaging about 23 points per, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. And he brings that offensive firepower to the team. Scoring just comes natural.
And, you know, defenses are throwing everything at him, yet he's still able to put up points. He's really unstoppable.
Here's Tucker. No good off the front iron. We were talking about the length of the NBA season and various opinions on shortening it. I suppose, Bill, one argument is that you want regular season games to be more significant. And you want that regular season to mean something every
Mean a little bit more.
Yeah.
Make the pace, I don't know. When you get after the All-Star break, you can really feel these guys slogging through it. You know, and especially the good teams, like a team like Golden State. All they did all year was whine and complain. Oh, well, we knew this was going to be a hard season. It can't be that hard. You have 4 of the best 20 players. Like, settle down. I think you'll be fine. You're winning every game by 30 points.
Yeah.
But I wish they would tighten the season.
Houston, a whole new 5 on the floor. And then for Oklahoma City, Nerlens Noel checks in for Adams. Morris comes in for Grant, and it's Andre Robertson in for Paul George. Here's Rivers taking a look at the scoring numbers. Right now he averages about 9 points a game. Bill, Commissioner Adam Silver believes the 2K Esports League will have the staying power of the NBA, the WNBA, the G League. A pretty powerful comment to make.
And I hope he's right, because I want to be the lead color guy. I want us to be the team. Why can't it be us, Kevin Harlan?
Are you kidding me?
Let's do that. Cut me the check.
Sign
As Rasheed
me
Wallace
up.
would say, CTC. Cut the check.
Bill Simmons is here.
I'm ready.
Passes to Gordon. Back to Rivers. Just 5 on the clock. To halt the run. Buries it from 3-point range. Rivers has got his first 3 points of the game.
He might not have the long-range ability of some other guys, but he will knock down open ones like that.
And that one's good. Noel.
Most of Noel's points come on the interior. Really uses his size effectively down there.
It's stolen by Morris. And now the fast break. Schroeder with the ball. Got a piece of it.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass.
Houston shooting their second and third shots at the line right here. The first free throw is good. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. Some nice passing by Oklahoma City here. Right wing. It's stolen by Green. And here we go. Harden heading to the hoop. So for Oklahoma City right now, inside pairing is Grant and Adams. The natural out there with Dennis Schroeder. And it's George in at the 3 spot. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Hi, Kevin. Well, the natural in the last outing against the Grizzlies was terrific. He had 29 points and did his damage in an unusual way, making a whole lot of threes. He put up numbers that really jumped out in the box score. A very solid performance. And Kevin will see what he's got in his arsenal tonight.
All right, David, thank you, guys. Could you believe that performance? Wow.
I mean, it was really something to see. I mean, he showed everybody just how special he is when he is on his game.
Greg, something really stoked his fire. Man, there was no holding him back. And when the player is that locked in, you just got to sit back and enjoy the ride.
It's been a whirlwind of a journey to the NBA, but AI has put in the work, and he'll be rewarded for it. He's going to be a part of the Rising Stars Challenge.
And while AI didn't take a traditional route to the NBA, he'll get to show what he can do against the best the recent draft classes have to offer. No doubt in my mind, he'll shine as bright as any of them.
Bill, the Rockets going into last season, new ownership. Seems like the transition has been pretty smooth so far in Houston.
Yeah, except that they left a title on the table last spring. They came really close. They had big leads in Game 6, big lead in Game 7, and just could not close the door. And that's been a recurring theme for James Harden, for Chris Paul, who missed the last 2 games.
Those games, right.
And I don't know if they're ever going to have a better chance than that, because You talk about Chris Paul now. He's in the 2005 draft. I think this is his 14th year. And point guards, as they get older, you can still get the 28 to 30 minutes a game out of them, but you're not getting like a top 3 All-NBA team type of performance. And I just wonder if they missed their window.
Another miss by Houston.
And even without that 3-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
Well, Greg, fans were asking for it, and the NBA delivered. It was announced that AI will be a part of the dunk contest in All-Star Weekend.
And with the way AI comes up with those highlight reel dunks every game, it seems, you had to put him in the contest. If he wasn't a part of the festivities, everyone would second-guess the validity of the dunk contest.
Now a timeout called by Houston.
Yeah.
Be scoring at will down there easily as they have. I mean, they've got to be more aggressive inside.
Now let's see the stat sheet here on Chris Paul. His last 10 games have been exceptional. First in assists, 12th in steals, and he's among the top 20 players in three-point field goal percentage. He has been locked and loaded from beyond.
And we're talking about the ultimate competitor here. Leading the league in assists, maximizing every possession. He just tears apart a defense. And it's Schroeder missing.
Yeah, he's costing them right now, sabotaging them a little bit. He's got to find his shot if they want to win this game.
And Dennis Schroeder gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Here's Capella, and good. Got the Ingles that time as it falls. Capella's got his second basket. Bill, you've done quite a few player interviews over your life, and I'm sure there are some guys that have surprised you with what they've got to say.
Yeah, I think we're in a really cool generation with basketball players where they're these really thoughtful guys who aren't afraid to share stuff. You know, some of the guys try to protect their images and their kind of their manufactured reputations, I would say, to some degree, but for the most part, the candidness of some of these guys, you can't hide on a podcast. If I have you for an hour, you're not going to be able to dodge stuff. You're going to have to talk.
You challenge people, that's the beauty of the podcast.
Well, and I don't have notes, so I do it. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, and we're going. And you got to be ready.
That's how Larry King used to do it. Yeah.
So some guys are ready. Like Durant was great. Durant was ready to talk, and we did 5 podcasts, and everything's on the table with him. But my favorites are, somebody like Kyrie came in, really smart, kind of sort of ready to go, but not totally, but then got into it. And those are usually the best ones.
Harden, no good. Thunder trailing by 13. Here's George. And Oklahoma City again with the bucket.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
I want to get back to what we were chatting about, Bill, with how today's NBA players are so media ready, whether it be interviews or social media. Your take is really interesting.
I think in general, all these guys, the guys now are so used to talking to people and being in front of people, and they're not surprised by questions, and they know how to handle themselves. They know how to not get in trouble, and they're comfortable.
Plus maybe 20 kind of grown up with you, though, too. You know what? You've been relevant for many years. Well, they've grown up with your stuff.
To be honest, a lot of them just know me as the white guy on NBA Countdown. They might not have read me, but they remember like that year I was with Jalen Rose. But What's weird
I
is...
think you'd be surprised. More have, I think...
Well, you know this too. When you're on TV, the credibility you get from being on TV, I wasn't prepared for within the NBA.
Oh, really?
I think that's true, yeah. I think it's like, oh, he's on TV, he's okay. And maybe they don't agree with you all the time, but you pass some imaginary checkpoint with those guys.
Well, you may think that TV was your validation. This is going to be your validation.
Oh, 100%.
2K. This is it. I'm stamping you right now.
This is better than winning a Pulitzer Prize.
Solid trip from the line right there. Knocked him down, and it was easy.
Bill, a top advisor for the U.S. High School Athletics and Activities Division, recommended that schools adopt esports programs. What's your take on that?
I'm all in. It's probably my son's only chance to go to college, so I really hope it happens. No, listen, the world changes every decade, and you got to change with it. And the reality is, esports is one of the biggest things we have now. And if you're under 15, you're way more likely to play video games and be good at that than you are to do anything else. So why wouldn't we be able to benefit from that? The whole esports in general, just the audiences they're getting, and as a spectator event, that's been building. So why wouldn't that work for college?
Gordon's checked in for Green. Nerlens Noel checks in for Oklahoma City. Time called here. The Thunder decide to talk it over. Thinking about how much sports video gaming has changed over the decades, Bill. Can you imagine a 13, 14-year-old Bill Simmons with the 2K product? You would just be all over that, wouldn't you?
You have no idea, Kevin Harlan. I was there for every step of the video game revolution. I had a television and an Atari. I had Nintendo. I had Super Nintendo. I had all three of the first PlayStations.
You played them all the time.
I played entire Madden seasons on the treadmill when I was like in my early 30s. Try playing any video game on the treadmill. Try it, and try not falling off. It's impossible. I've been there every step of the way. I'm pro esports. Basketball, I'm jealous of the people who can play 2K well, because there's just, that sound like an old guy, but so many buttons and so many things to remember. I'm always so impressed when people just remember all the combinations and stuff. I'm jealous.
Like your son does.
My son can do it.
I know it.
But I could have done it. I
know you could.
I want to take 1984 me out of a time machine and just give me this game. I would have unleashed.
Yeah, but 13-year-old Bill Simmons would like what 40-year-old Bill Simmons is.
13-year-old Bill Simmons would be amazed that 48-year-old Bill Simmons was getting paid to do anything. He'd really be excited about that. Just that he wasn't living at home. We would have been fired up.
Austin Rivers, he's checked in for the Rockets. Then for the Thunder, Morris is checked in for Adams. Andre Robertson comes in for George. That's Felton in for Dennis Schroeder.
And getting to the line and hitting your free throws, a good way to get back into the game. It stops the clock and extends the game and allows you the opportunity to set your defense. They've been perfect from the line so far here in the second quarter.
Harden's shot is good.
Boy, has he put his foot on the pedal here this quarter. He's doing a terrific job in terms of leading their offense.
In the corner, it's Morris. And that comes off the assist by Raymond Felton.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agility.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
I mean, the number of points they've scored in the paint already here is eye-opening.
And there's a whistle. That's going to go on James Harden. That's foul number 2 for him.
Aggressiveness is fine, but you can't be this over-aggressive. I think he's got to dial it back some. They need him on the floor.
And the Rockets making a change here. Nene's checked in. That one's in there. Rocket lead is cut down to just 3 in the basket from Noel. Well, we want to thank the sports guy for being here. Enlightening as always. Bill, what a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I hope my son was impressed. Thank you, Kevin.
I'm sure he was. And Clark, always great to have Bill with us, a content creator who really taps into what the audience is thinking.
Could not agree with you more. Amen to all of that, Kevin. He's got a very loyal fan base and readers and viewers that share his vision, not just on sports, but on life. And that strong connection he has with them is admirable.
Over to the left wing. Rivers against Felton. Back to Robertson. Down to 5 on the shot clock. A 3 from Morris. Count it. His second make in 4 attempts.
And the D has gotten a little bit laxed here defending the triple.
The 3 from Harden. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. They won their last game against the Rockets in Houston.
Yeah, a dominant win for them their last time in this matchup. And what jumps off the stat page was their advantage on the boards.
Yeah, they were overpowering it inside, and you really got to like their chances, Greg, if they can replicate that tonight.
Will it go? Hangs home the trifecta. Harden's got 22 points.
And, you know, Harden is super reliable from outside the arc. He's got that sweet lefty stroke, and it's a thing of beauty to watch.
James Harden getting it done for Houston. What an amazing quarter. There was absolutely no stopping him. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, pretty soon you're going to be in your first dunk contest. Now, just between us, what have you got planned?
We'll have a, I haven't decided what I'm going to use, but my teammates keep coming at me with all sorts of stuff. You know, I got 10 guys coaching me up, telling me to try this, try that. They might be a little more excited than I am, but for real, DA, it's going to be a lot of fun, so look out for that, man.
Can't wait to see what you've got cooked up after consulting with your guys. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started. And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
And through the first 2 periods, it seemed he got to the paint whenever he wanted to. Just a slasher's mentality.
Yeah, you know, good things happen when he cuts to the rim, Greg, and you cut into the heart of the defense like that, makes things easy.
Paul and Harden are the incredible backcourt duo. Clint Capella is out there with P.J. Tucker, and it's Green in at the 3 spot. They're the group for Mike D'Antoni starting the second half.
You take a look at the Rockets offense, and they become lean and mean. Very few mid-range shots, no long twos. It's all threes and points in the paint. They keep their menu tight, and it works for them.
To the right side. Capella inside. Adams on him. And that one, good. Capella's got the game tied up here for the Rockets.
Hey, you got to put a body on Capella. I mean, he's a tenacious offensive rebounder and does a nice job using his body.
And he gets it to go. You talked about the Rockets' focus offensively. It's all on Harden and Chris Paul.
Yeah, they're the main shot creators for that offense. Everybody else better be happy spotting up, setting picks and rolling, and scoring in transition. The Beard and CP are going to have the ball in their hands most of the time.
Oklahoma City moving it around. Here's Green. Good. It's Harden with the assist that time.
Hey, we know Harden can score, but he also has great vision.
Outside, George. Grant kicks to Adams. The pass to the natural. Back to Adams. Oh, yes, he did. 5 up and 5 down for him so far.
Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high percentage looks from inside.
And even under pressure in close, I think they've still done a good job maintaining concentration and converting the opportunities.
13 feet away. And it's Schroeder missing.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Harden outside, and the wide open shot from Paul. Drills it from outside. Paul's got 7 points in the game.
That is the quick decision-making of Chris Paul. Doesn't take a single dribble, just sees it and hits it.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And Greg, certainly the knock on Dennis Schroeder is play on the defensive end.
nobody questions how effective he is on offense. I just think he has a tendency to take a few too many plays off and too many chances on defense. If he wants to be viewed as a top point guard in this league, he'll need to show some consistency on the defensive end.
Clark, you once worked for the Indiana Pacers, vice president, player relations, and really had your fingerprints on a lot of part of that organization. Could you see yourself going back to an NBA front office role?
I don't anticipate that. I love what I do as a broadcaster. I really feel as though I'm right where God wants me to be. Currently had a wonderful tenure with the Pacers, 32 years between playing, broadcasting both radio and television, and then 4 years in the VP of Player Relations role. Phenomenal relationship with a number of people, but no, I think that chapter for me is in the rearview mirror.
I speak for everyone playing the game, watching the game. We're glad you're in broadcasting, I'll tell you that.
Thank you, partner.
The shot's good.
You've got to give them a lot of credit for just battling back into this game.
Extremely impressive was the rally they made. I mean, we'll see how much their comeback might have taken out of them, and we'll see if they can keep that foot on the pedal now.
Bounce pass from Paul. The three from Harden, but they'll get another chance. Tries yet again. Not enough on that one as it misses.
And gotta like what they've been doing down low in the post.
I certainly do. You know, I like to see guys do their work inside. Their rebounding has been excellent, and that's always important in a close game.
The Rockets making a switch here. Shumpert's checked in, and Oklahoma City also making a switch. Patterson's checked in. Schroeder against Paul. From deep, Green. No good that time. Now Oklahoma City takes it the other way. It's George on the wing. And that one hits back iron.
Man, right play, wrong result on that one. Generally, you knock those down.
Not much else you can do there. I mean, that's what you want. Too bad they weren't able to finish it off.
Pass to the natural. It's rebounded by Houston. Shumpert's got his fourth rebound in this one. Pass to Green. Now here's Shumpert. He's covered closely. Over in the corner, Paul. Clock at 6. Shoots over Schroeder, and it's Paul missing. And it's Schroeder with the ball. He brings it up for Oklahoma City. A 2-point game. No good from the natural.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Inside. A nice shot by Tucker. Tucker's got 13 points.
Using that strong upper body, Tucker can definitely play through contact.
Here's Schroeder. The teardrop falls in. Schroeder's got the lead up to 2 now for the Thunder.
Nice looking floater there, Kevin. Such a fast shot, a quick release. Really hard to guard that.
Ball against Schroeder. Takes the 13-footer, uses the glass to drop it in. And that's now 9 points for Chris Paul.
You know, I don't care how tight you play him. It's very hard to keep Paul from knocking that shot down. His in-between game is lethal.
Passes it to the natural. George finds Patterson. Offensive rebound. The natural uses the glass to finish the layup. The natural's got 4 points this quarter.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Yeah, and they're really getting pummeled on points in the paint here.
Paul is doubled. To the left wing. Here's Capella. And too long on the shot. Oklahoma City's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. And the shot drops as they pick up 2 points from the natural. The natural's got 23 points.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Greg, the play in the paint has gone almost entirely all their way.
Unloads from 13. It's hauled in by Adams. Adams is... And there's the pass to George. Some nice passing by Oklahoma City here. To the inside. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. And it's going to go on Amon Shumpert.
And I would not be surprised to see them double him up here.
Houston with a big group substitution here. Nene, he's checked in for Capella. Kenneth Fareed comes in for P.J. Tucker. Gordon's checked in for Gerald Green. And it's Austin Rivers in for Chris Paul. And then for Oklahoma City, Noel's checked in for Patterson. Andre Robertson comes in for George. That's Felton in for Dennis Schroeder. Ferguson's checked in for the Natural. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown for the Thunder.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
Yeah, but I also like the balance because they're doing a great job of getting inside and converting around the rim. I really like their aggressiveness.
And Markieff Morris out of Kansas, a spread 4, as they say.
And able to strike it from anywhere on the floor. A good secondary scorer who can also create his own shot on the block at times.
And Oklahoma City, look at who they've got to start the fourth quarter. Markieff Morris is out there with Noel. Then there's Grant. Then there's Dennis Schroeder. And it's the Natural and at the 2 spot. Here's Grant. Makes it off the glass. And the Thunder lead by 12.
And he has starting to turn it on now after that slow start.
Rivers passes to Harden. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. Harden's got 26.
You always got to track Harden, an elusive player who knows how to get it done inside.
Schroeder kicks to Morris. Inside, the Natural takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely.
Defensively, this is what you know. He's coming off a hot game and looking to keep it rolling.
As well he should, Greg. I mean, he always is looking to score the ball, even more so when he's hot. I like the mindset.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
Here's Morris, and Morris throws it down.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
And those are the kind of sequences that tell you why the score is what it is.
The Thunder leading by 12. The drive by Schroeder. And the wide open shot from Morris. Eric Gordon with the rebound.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Harden's shot is off.
And still looking for his first triple of the second half. He had 3 at halftime.
No one covering. 22 points for Dennis Schroeder.
Wow, what a pass there. He made that a very easy basket with that setup.
It's Rivers on the wing. Back to Harden. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Harden's got 30 points.
And you know, he's really been one of the few bright spots for them, trying to will this team to victory.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. Fans can see what a team is doing on the court, but they can't see behind the scenes. Clark, in your experience, what are some of the hallmarks of a team with great locker room chemistry?
Yeah, you know, it varies from team to team. You know, you got various personalities, but I think the one common theme is really a respect for each other and a willingness to sacrifice for each other. That creates an atmosphere for people to be their best. The teams that have good chemistry, there may be friction, there may be drama, but underneath any of that is a real respect for each other and a commitment to sacrificing for each other.
Houston making some changes. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for Kenneth Fareed. Green comes in for Gordon. And Paul subbed in for Rivers. Paul George, he's checked in for Oklahoma City. Inside. The Natural, the pass to George. Here's the Natural, guarded by Green. And the shot is good. 30 points for the Natural.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Yeah, and you can tell they feel like they can get inside whenever they want to. I mean, it's been carte blanche, full menu for them, and the defense really not offering any resistance.
Wide open. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. Schroeder's got assist number 10 tonight with that last one. Rockets trail by 16. Paul with the ball. Harden outside, down low, trying to find Capella, gets it to him, takes the alley-oop pass and dunks it down.
Oh, I like how Capella stays one step ahead of the posse on defense. Has a real good sense of body control.
And that Unleash Chaos replay presented by Under Armour. Cover Havoc, giving us a chance to relive that exciting play. Paul with the ball, now guarded by Schroeder. And here's Harden for three. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Brent's got his 8th rebound here tonight. Back to George. Ball against Schroeder. To the paint. Here's the natural. And down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
And did you see the screen that was set for him? I mean, that was how he got to the hoop.
It was the classic screenplay. It won't show up in the box score, but that screen deserves an assist.
Absolutely, Kevin. I mean, that took the defender right out of the play. Loved how they guarded that layup. Didn't make it easy, which I think is why he missed it.
Feeds it to Noel. And it's Grant in the corner. Schroeder kicks to George. Schroeder looking around. Over Paul. Here's Noel. And he uses the glass on the layup. And the Thunder lead by 20.
And Noel really does a nice job in reading angles of shots. He really excels in avoiding box outs because he's so active, and he typically beats guys to important spots near the basket.
And the shot goes in. And 11 points for Chris Paul.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Here's the natural, and a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam.
And slams it home and gets some camera time on the end of it.
He did. He spent a while up on that rim, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, the refs are much more lenient with that kind of situation than they used to be.
Paul dishes to Tucker. Kicks it out to Harden. Some solid D here from the natural.
He's still fighting it, and sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets. He's trying to get in the rhythm, but right now he's playing hard, but he's hurting his team.
And he goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
Well, there's nothing like being unselfish as a player, and Noel was outstanding in that regard, reading the entire floor and finding his guys for high percentage shots.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Ball against Schroeder. Shoots from 12. Paul's shot is off. The Thunder leading by 22. Grant, right side. without the basket.
And Grant really embraces contact, relishes it, as a matter of fact. He has no fear of going to the rim or going into a shot.
Now here's Harden. Defense is right there. Count it.
And when he gets in his head that he's going to get to the basket, very little you can do defensively.
Harden against Schroeder. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Capella. Down low. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
And James Harden, last season's MVP, the runner-up in 2015, actually won the players' vote for MVP that season. But last season, he took home the official hard work.
And he can't get the first one. And with James Harden winning the MVP in 2018, Russell Westbrook in 2017, Kevin Durant in 2014, you think a few what-ifs right now in Oklahoma City?
A few, or more than that, Kevin. I mean, probably tough for them all to win MVP playing on one team. A good shot at a different trophy, though, maybe the one that starts with the name of Larry.
Outside, Green. Ball against Schroeder. Lays it up and banks it in. And it's 13 points for Chris Paul.
Can't fault the defense there. I mean, Paul is just a crafty finisher inside.
Here's the natural. And it goes down 2 points.
Boy, I really like the way he's stroking the ball. I mean, knocking down a bunch of his shots and really being efficient.
And it's Paul with the ball for the Rockets. Average value of an NBA team, Clark, over $1 billion. And I can't even believe I'm saying that, but the league wasn't always so healthy and always thriving the way it is now.
Yeah, every business goes through periods of prosperity and challenge. The league, NBA, no different. Early 80s, there were real struggles and challenges. Then there was a real bump as we got into the late 80s and into the 90s, plateaued a bit, and now we're on a great ascension. But the players and the league have really worked well together to bring the league to a greater level of popularity and success in this time period now. And you can't discount the big money from TV contracts. That fuels the fire quite a bit as well.
4 on the shot clock. Here's George. Doesn't go for him. That time from Green. And a quick look at how the Oklahoma City Thunder's schedule is shaping up. On Monday, they'll go up against C.J. McCollum and the Portland Trail Blazers. And then on Thursday, they'll be matching up against Mike Conley and the New Orleans Pelicans.
And for the matchup with the Jazz, even though they should get the win, I would expect it to be a bit of a battle. Just because they are favored doesn't mean it's an automatic W.
To the paint, here's Harden. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Paul's got assist number 7 for him tonight.
And really the scoring this quarter has been just off the charts, doing all he can to bring them back.
And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. Capella, and so he's picked up his final foul, and he will sit for the rest of this game.
Yeah, and luckily they've got terrific depth at that position. If there's one spot on the floor where they can afford to lose somebody, that would probably be it.
And so Mike D'Antoni has had enough. Timeout.
You know, it's funny, guys. I'm still not sure that Chris Paul gets enough credit for just how special he is as a player. I'm not sure why that is. I mean, very few players in league history have been able to impact the game at both ends of the floor at his elite level.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, the Natural.
And what an amazing ball game we've seen from him. It's been a one-man show worth the price of admission all by itself. There wasn't anything he couldn't do on that court tonight.
He silenced this crowd with an unreal display. His ability to drown out the noise and the hostility of an opposing crowd is pretty special. Paul finds Tucker. And the layup falls. And you look at Chris Paul's numbers. They stack up to any point guard that's ever played the game. Clark, what do you think is the most underrated part of Chris Paul's game?
Well, I would think it would be his defense and his perimeter shooting. I don't think he gets the credit for being the perimeter shooter he is, but defense would stand out to me.
To the middle. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. Here's Schroeder. Here's the natural. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. The natural's got 46 points.
Continuing to push the action and build this lead.
Yeah, you know, continue to pour it on them. That's what they want to do right now. Doing their best to put this game out of reach and in the win column.
1:52 left in the fourth quarter. And George kicks to Grant. Pass to the natural. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So one free throw coming up.
Man, he's got a lot of firepower right now. I mean, what a half he's having.
Mark, an interesting aspect of the one-and-done controversy. Increasingly, these guys are being asked to take on a big role in the NBA right away.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I'm all for guys that have the unique ability and opportunity to play pro basketball out of high school or after 1 or 2 years of college. I would love to see college kids hang around for 2 or 3 years, but that's not realistic for the supremely gifted. But it does put pressure on your teams if you're expecting these young guys to come in and impact winning right away. It takes a little time, most cases, for even really highly talented players to become winning NBA players.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a
And Harden, an absolutely vicious dunker. Terrific at bouncing towards the rim for the epic throwdown.
And there's the call. It's going to be an illegal screen.
And guys, at this point, just a side note, they've got this one sewn up.
So no problem for Oklahoma City as they get the win. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Congratulations on the win. You all were dominant in the fourth quarter. What produced all that energy down the stretch?
You know, it's funny. I was starting to get that winning feeling, DA. You know, I wanted to close this game out in style. We deserve this win. And I wouldn't have been able to face our fans if I didn't get it. So, you know, I just started to pour it on.
Yeah, that was quite an effort down the stretch, and nobody else was better than you. So congratulations. Kevin?
David, thank you as always.